This is Terry Battisti with the Bass Fishing Archives. I'm sitting here with Chad Morgenthaler, and today Chad's going to talk about how he got into competitive bass fishing. Chad?
Well, it's kind of the same old story with a little bit of a twist. Loved fishing as a kid and started fishing regionally about the time I was 23 in some buddy tournaments and really liked it. At 28, my father actually went to an event and with a friend of mine, a Bassmaster Open, and he took part and watched that whole thing. And of course, I'd watched Bassmaster all my life, and read the magazines. And he said, I really think you need to go try this. And I was like, well, I can't afford to go do that. And he offered to pay my entry fees if I would try it. So, being a firefighter at the time, I was able to get the time off for a couple of events. I did the first one. I thought I was rich. I think I cut a $1,700 check, for like 40th place, and I was like, man, I love this.
Yeah.
And then the next one, I didn't do any good at it, but the third one, I did well again. And then the next year, I was all in. I mean, it was one of those deals where it was just kind of meant to be. I got in all three. I qualified for that year for the Top 150 Tour. And then after that, we had the next year, I qualified for the Classic in 03 out of the Opens. So I was hooked. It was a done deal, and I had a very supporting wife. And she said, you really need to think about trying this for a living. She goes, there's very few times that people will get the opportunity to follow their dream. And she had a great job and working for Southern Illinois University. She's got her master's degree, and we sat down and talked and come up with a plan financially and a time frame in which we were going to try to make it happen. And I told her I want 3 years. If I can't do it in 3 years, I will pursue something else. And
right.
Here it is, almost 13 years later.
Yeah. So you were a fireman when you started this whole thing, right?
Yes.
So how was that juggling the firefighter / tournament deal?
It got to be very hectic as I got farther and farther along. What happened was, I got more tournaments. I made the Classic. I had to start making decisions. I'd used up all my vacation time. I was paying guys to work for me. And it was really to a point where I had to make a decision. And that's it was easy at first, working 24 hours on, 48 hours off. But then as it started getting busier, I was, like I said, I was running short on time. So something had to go one way or another.
Uh-huh. Was there one event that really cemented in your mind that, yeah, I belong here?
It's funny. There's one event that probably not only did that, but also was an odd turn of events. We had decided that, if I had qualified, that we were gonna take the chance. We were gonna go ahead and make the move. So it was Toledo Bend, and I had to finish pretty good in that event to be able to make it. So day one, I didn't catch them. And I had fallen out of the ranking. I wasn't going to make it if I didn't catch them the second day.
Make the Classic, you mean?
No, make the Top 150 Tour. So I was going to lose my professional invitation.
Right.
And I called the wife that night, and I was like, well, it doesn't look like we're going to have to make a decision. I'm probably not going to put my 2 weeks notice in. And she goes, well, I just want to let you know that I've sold the house, so you best catch them tomorrow. And I was like, I really didn't need that kind of pressure on me at the time, but it worked out. I caught them really well the second day. I got back into the ranks, and our dream started becoming a reality at that point. And then I can remember going into my first year, my first tournament. Ironically enough, my first year on tour was the first two tournaments were back-to-back in Florida, of all places. Mm-hmm. And I like to fish Florida, but I'd never fished Florida at that point. We go to the Harris Chain. It's a brutal cold front. Skeet Reese ended up winning the event. Mm-hmm. And I did everything I could to finish dead last, and I almost did. And then we were pretty skeptical about the decision that we had made at that point. I was just crushed mentally. We had spent a lot of money to that point. I thought, oh my goodness, we've overstepped our boundaries. The next week was at Okeechobee, and for some reason, the good Lord looked after me, and I finished 5th in that event, and I won all my money back plus some, and I ended up double qualifying for the Classic that year, and my career kind of took off from there.
That's awesome. And now here you are, Classic 45, Lake Hartwell, South Carolina.
Yeah, it is, and it's been a great road. It's been a great, it's been a lot of challenges, You know, if anybody doesn't think this isn't a lot of challenges, you better take a little look. But it's very rewarding whenever you start back to back in your classics. You know, I was fortunate enough to win the wild card at Okeechobee last December, which put me in Guntersville. You know, I took a long hiatus from bass after that. I fished with them for 3 years. I left for 6 or 7 years, went to FLW, and then I came back. And just to requalify was a chore in itself, but I was able to make it back in through the opens, and then you know, to win Okeechobee and to do all that, and then to have a good year, my first year back on the elites. It's very, very satisfying.
Awesome. Well, hey, good luck.
Thank you.
Have a good one.